The biggest boy band in the world decided to boycott the Grammys. This is a surprising move to many, but honestly one that needed to be done. The Grammys have been losing more and more popularity year over year, mainly amongst the younger audience, and this move is going to spread awareness to such a big audience of people, especially the younger crowd, of the discriminatory practices that the Grammys have been doing for years now to many different cultures and artists of non-American slash European descent. And it's just a slap in the face to be doing this for so many years as a global award ceremony. It's just unacceptable. BTS's decision came after dropping their really successful album, which sold 640K first week in the US, which is a number we'll come back to later because that does play a part in this. After the album dropped, everybody thought BTS is going to sweep up at the Grammys. BTS is really going to dominate this year at the Grammys. But then the Grammys decided to drop an Asian pop category, which, right after BTS was like, we are not participating in the Grammys, they dropped this following joint statement that said, we have decided not to submit for Grammy consideration this year. We hope our music can be heard and loved for what it is, rather than being divided by region or language. We thank ARMY and everyone who has stood by us. This statement is one that had a lot of people back and forth on whether it was good or move or not. Even the CEO of the Grammys responded by saying, I am saddened to hear that BTS has chosen not to participate in the Grammys process this year. But as a music creator, I understand and respect their decision. I do want to clarify something that seems to be getting lost in conversation. The Asian pop category was created to celebrate the depth, diversity, and extraordinary growth of pop artistry coming out of Asia. The spirit of this new category is to shine a dedicated spotlight on these important artists. More categories mean more artists' work is recognized. It's never to divide, but it's to expand who is recognized by our 15,000 Grammy voters. And this response isn't just fence sitting to try to justify, it's really disrespectful to the group for you to say, we respect and justify your decision, but here's why our decision is justified and you guys are wrong. So, it just comes in poor taste for you guys to even make this comment. So, for Mr. CEO, Mr. Graham, Mr. Harvey, whatever your last name is, I've listed 3 reasons for you why this is a bad move and why this is really going to play in disfavor for the Grammys for years to come. The one argument and the weakest argument I've been seeing on TikTok and Reddit is that it's an American awards show. It's one that people have been using to justify the new categories, but actually the Grammys are an award show to celebrate and honor music success largely via US based charting, basically celebrating their success in this market. So if a pop song, regardless of where it was made, is dominating our market, dominating the US charts and really impacting the culture and has staying power, it's not Asian pop. It's just a pop song. Like, to divide those two simply because of region or where the artists originate is a slap in the face to the whole premise of this award show.
I thought I was streaming for a second, bro. Bro, I thought I was live on accident. I thought, okay, my bad.
To divide the two simply because of region where the artists originate is a slap in the face to the whole premise of the award show, which is to honor those who have excelled and had an impact on music as a whole. Not to mention, the Grammys already have a precedent of awarding foreign artists like Adele, the Beatles, or Celine Dion in the main 4 categories because of their impact on the US charts. So why is it that artists dominating in the UK can make and win the big 4 categories, but when an Asian group is dominating in the US, suddenly a whole continent with 60% of Earth's population needs their own category to divide them? And it also just gives the feeling and impression like they're trying to snub a certain group from winning album of the year, record of the year, whatever it may be. BTS and other international artists and groups have dominated America for the past 10 years. BTS has records that were not only competing with the likes of Taylor Swift, Sabrina Carpenter, Drake, and many other artists, but they were actively outstreaming them, outselling and outcharting most of these powerhouse acts in their own market. Forcing an artist or artist who is actively breaking US records into a regional category implies that pop is a genre reserved only for Western English-speaking artists, which is extremely outdated and closed-minded. My second reason is going to be the Recording Academy's history. The Recording Academy has a well-documented history of using subcategories to keep diverse artists out of the big 4 categories. For a long time, there's been an argument to be had about categories like Best Urban Contemporary have been made to keep these artists from receiving the shine of a Best New Artist or an Album of the Year or even a Record of the Year. This has been a long-standing argument that is just being done again, but this time to Asian artists. Not only is this a slap in the face of the different cultures and the music itself, it's placing a glass ceiling on these artists, working hard towards hopefully achieving and being recognized for the top award that you can get for one of the main four categories, only to have the realization on award night that these people just want to keep you in a box. Because the coveted big awards are only for the ultra mainstream, brand friendly American artists. And you look at the history of artists winning the main four categories. You look at an Olivia Rodrigo, who is one of the biggest artists in the world, and not to say she doesn't deserve any of her Grammys, she is super talented and has deserved every award she's won. But she's also of Asian descent, and she's made that very known. She's very proud of her culture. So now, are we gonna start grouping her into this category instead of album of the year? Just make it make sense, bro. It just doesn't make any sense from an overall perspective. And my last reason is that it contradicts the Grammys' own global music structure. The Grammys already have the best global music performance and best global music album categories. These exist to specifically honor traditional, non Western, or regional music styles that do not fit the Western radio format, which they already had a whole dealing with cultural Mexican music when they were snubbing them from Latin categories. So, piecing it together, this is starting to seem more like a pattern rather than just coincidences or you guys trying to expand categories and recognize more artists or whatever excuse that you guys are trying to make. But basically, what I'm trying to say is pop music, bro. BTS, 17, New Jeans, Stray Kids, they're not making like regional folk music. They're making global, very well, like top tier produced music that is standing with the likes of like a Taylor Swift, a Dua Lipa, a Olivia Rodrigo, a Drake. To me, it seems like the Academy doesn't know how to handle international markets, making such a splash in the US to the point where they have to be recognized. And this is just the Grammys' way of trying to snub another artist, or another group, or another genre that's not the traditional big American genres or big American safe plays from winning a main category like album of the year. Because when you look at the history of the Grammys, not only is it supposed to be quality of music, but popularity plays a role too. And BTS is no joke, had one of the most popular albums, if not the most popular album of the year. But they're even if they submitted, I don't think they would have won that album of the year. And that's just hearsay. But based on this category being made, it seems like they would have won this category and that would have been all they had. And it sucks to see, man, because yes, while popularity should play a part, if you notice every year, really the people winning is always going to be the most popular album that year, the safest album that you can win that year. And this past year with Bad Bunny winning album of the year, I guess that put it in in their mouth like, all right, we got a little bit of good karma back, and now we can go ahead and do something else to kind of even the odds. We went ahead and gave this Hispanic his award. Now let's go ahead and harm another community, or really try to snub another community. It's just distasteful, bro. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of the Grammys. I haven't been for many years. I hope that this kind of shows people that the Grammys just really shouldn't hold any weight, to be honest. They're not really like, it's just an award show, bro. Like, I know it's so prestigious, it's like whatever, but they've been going down in popularity for years. And at this point, like, artists don't really need these award shows for validation, especially on the mainstream level. I just feel like it's a stupid point. And I hope that the Academy does realize that they fucked up, and that, I would love to see them apologize to not only BTS, but to the other artists, the other communities, the other cultures that they've impacted by actively snubbing them and creating segregation in these categories to actively not recognize the talents out of countries that aren't in the US or Europe.